Honorable Arumugam Parasuraman அவர்கள் நமக்கு இப்பொழுது ஒரு உரையை வழங்க இருக்கின்றார்.
Dr. KVS Marutu Mohan, research on the lives of Sivaji Ganesan, respected Mr. G. Ram Kumar, Mr. Siva Pillai, Mr. Nichanandan Shanmugam, the program coordinator, the distinguished panel of speakers, Mr. Raja Manikam, and my brothers from Mauritius and one sister, Dr. Kadrivel Sornam, Mr. Vijay Viramutu, Krupdas Vadivelan, and Dr. Saraswati Tirumali Chetty, the distinguished participants to this the Mauritius Nadigar Thilakam 93. I don't see probably on the screen actor G. Prabhu, but I would just like to mention him also. That as Sivaji's grandson and very reputed actor. Well, first of all, I wish to commend Dr. KVS Marutu Mohan for the noble initiative of organizing, in collaboration with International Tirukural Foundation, the celebration of the 93rd birthday, Nadigar Thilakam, which is translated as the pride of actors of our respected legendary actor, Sivaji Ganesan, and for inviting me as chief guest for the celebration in Mauritius today. I wish to congratulate Dr. Marutu Mohan, who did a 7-year research on Sivaji and his school of acting, and explained the various nuances of Sivaji's enviable acting skills and the making of the movie Veerapandya Kattahoman. It is a matter of great pride that on October 1st, 2021, which marks the 93rd birthday of actor Sivaji Ganesan, Google has honored him with its famous doodle. Bangalore-based artist Nupur Rajesh Choksi created this doodle, which features 3 images of the icon. This is a very singular recognition and tribute to Sivaji Ganesan. Personally, I have very fond memories of my encounter with Sivaji Ganesan in March 1976, 45 years ago. I was just 25 years old, when he was a guest of the government of Mauritius. And as you could see in the picture behind me, I had the honor of offering him a garland to welcome him to a reception we had organized in his honor. Well, I wish in my address today share with you the following salient features of the life history of Sivaji Ganesan. First, a brief profile of Sivaji Ganesan, then the role of Sivaji's mentor on his achievements, childhood interest in acting on stage, film career, his political career, and his distinguished and unique international recognition, and last but not the least, the universal acclaim he had globally. But before doing that, let me thank respected Mr. Ram Kumar for his message and his message about Moritius also, and we'd like to thank him for his very wise suggestion about maintaining Tamil language, Tamil culture in the diaspora. I can assure him that in Mauritius we are doing the best we can. We still have some shortcomings with regard to speaking Tamil, but a lot of work has been done to promote and maintain Tamil language and Tamil culture in Mauritius over the years. I must admit that myself, I do not speak fluently. In my childhood, Tamil was not taught in school, so I couldn't learn it there, but I learned it from an elder in the village. And the elder taught me how to read and write Tamil. I can read and write still now, but speaking Tamil, the problem is our lack of, not opportunity to practice it. But I can assure him that when I became Minister of Education in 1983, Tamil was taught only in primary schools. I took it to secondary, and likewise for all other Indian languages taught in Mauritius, and took it to secondary and even to tertiary level. And Tamil is well now established, and it depends on the community to take advantage of all the facilities. We have also Tamil Speaking Union, Tamil Cultural Center, and various organizations promoting the language. But I must admit that we still have a lot to do for the spoken Tamil. And this is, I leave it to the distinguished Mauritian participants who's here, Dr. Tirumala Chetty, Kesavan Sornam, Vijay Viramutu, and Guru Das, to do something about it because you are in the field and you can help with that. Well, let me also tell Mr. Ramkumar, I'll be very happy to meet you once I come to Tamil Nadu. I will look for you. So once COVID is over, because we're going to travel now. Well, let me therefore come to the topic of the main theme of today. A brief profile of Sivaji Ganesan. His original name is Tiru V. Chinnaya Manraya Ganesamurti, better known by his stage name Sivaji Ganesan, born on the 1st of October 1928, and he left us on the 21st of July 2001. He was an Indian actor and producer. He was active in Tamil cinema during the latter half of the 20th century. He was known for his versatility and in the variety of roles he depicted on screen, which gave him also the Tamil nickname Nadigar Thilakam, which is the pride of actors. In a career that spanned close to 5 decades, he had acted 288 films in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and Hindi. He was the first Indian film actor, to win a Best Actor award in the International Film Festival, the Afro-Asian Film Festival held in Cairo, Egypt in 1960. Many leading South Indian film actors have started their acting, stated that their acting was influenced by Sivaji Ganesan. In addition, he received 4 Filmfare Awards, South, and the National Film Award, Special Jury. In 1997, Ganesan was conferred the Dada Saheb Phalke Award, the highest honor for films in India. He was also the first Indian actor to be made a Chevalier, of the Ordre des Arts and des Lettres by France. This is a yet another international recognition of his role. Sivaji Ganesan is remembered as an iconic figure of Tamil cinema. Upon his death, the Los Angeles Times described him as the Marlon Brando of South India's film industry. But he is also very much grateful and he pays respects to his mentor, in fact, for these achievements. And Chinna Purnusamy Padayati is a teacher of theatrical arts who trained Ganesan in his troupe. During an interview with V.S. Srinivasan, Sivaji Ganesan said, I quote, "Theatre has taught me everything. My teacher, Chinna Purnuswamy Padayati of Chidambaram, taught me Bharatnatyam. Acting, body movements, and practically everything. Padayati was himself an outstanding of an ashram school. Well, Sivaji Ganesan developed his interest in acting right in his early childhood. Without his father's consent, Ganesan decided to join a touring stage drama company at the age of 7. At the age of 10, he moved to Tiruchirappalli and joined a drama troupe and began to perform in stage plays. From the drama troupe trainers, he was fortunate enough to learn acting and dancing. He was trained in Bharatnatyam, Kathak, and Manipuri dance forms. He exhibited the ability to remember lengthy lines easily. The group favored Ganesan to play the lead, and he would continue to do so. His portrayal of Sivaji in the stage play Sivaji Kanda Hindu Rajyam earned him the moniker Sivaji, which was conferred on him at a public function presided over by social reformer Periyar. Since then, he was referred to by the name of Sivaji. Well, he has a very successful film career from 1950 to 1990s. he made his acting debut in 1952 in the Tamil film Parasakti, which was directed by the Krishnan Manju duo and co-starred actress Pandari Bai. Mr. Karunanidhi recommended him for the lead role in Parashakti to the producer. The script was written by late Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Karunanidhi. Since actors who are well trained in classical dance can effectively showcase expressions called Navarasa on their faces, Ganesan went on to become one of the popular actors in Tamil cinema in 1950s. His unique voice had a greater appeal. His style of dialogue delivery was a long spell of dialogues like a poetry recitation with much clarity, earned him critical recognition. He also played donning versatile roles. His role in the film Veera Pandya Kattabomman won him the Best Actor Award at the Afro-Asian Film Festival in Cairo, Egypt. Incidentally, he was also the first Indian actor to get an award for the Best Actor role. Often considered to be a landmark film in Tamil cinema, Asa Malar is arguably one of the best films of Sivaji Ganesan and Savitri together. Once again directed by A. Bhim Singh, the film has a cult following, and rightly so. When it released in 1961, it became a trendsetter of sorts and was a money spinner at the box office. Sivaji Ganesan also portrayed in Puranic and historical roles. His portrayal of Lord Shiva in the movie Ladeyal, 1965, won him many accolades. He could strike a balance between commercial cinema, mythological cinema, and experimental cinema. Spanning genres like epics to crime thrillers, from romantic escapades to comic flicks and action flicks, Ganesan has covered it all. He also was recognized as a superstar, where he played again various roles. In the 60s and 70s, his films have been well received and he was able to deliver constant hits. Some of his famous hits during this period are Vasanta Malige, Gauravam, Tanga Padakkam, and Satyam. In 1980 to 1999, he played some matured role. It's a period where he started acting more matured roles. Mudal Mariyade, 1985, won him a Filmfare Award and Tamil Nadu State Film Award and the Best Actor category. He acted with Kamal Hassan in the critically acclaimed Devar Magan, which won him a Special Mention Award at the 40th Film Award. Sivaji Ganesan also, until 1956, he was, but once he went to Tirumala town in Tirupati district and worshipped Lord Venkateswara in the world famous temple there. Due to this act, he was heavily criticized by his party men as DMK propounded atheism and looked down worshipping God. Ganesan was very hurt by this incident. But being a very religious and pious man, and an interesting fact was that he was expelled from the DMK party by Kalaignar Karunanidhi for going to Tirupati with his family. He did not care a damn about it and always sported a pious mark of three-line vibhuti, an undeniable mark of a strong Saivite on his forehead. Later in 1962, Ganesan became a strong supporter of the Indian National Congress. Due to his popularity, he was requested to be part of the National Congress Tamil Nadu. His respect for Kamaraj made him support Congress. He was made the Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament by the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi's death in 1984 of South India. Sivaji Ganesan was the first artist from India to visit the United States. In the cultural exchange program of the US government in 1962, invited by the then US President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, where he took the role of India's cultural ambassador. During his visit there, he was honored by being made the honorary mayor of Niagara Falls, New York for one day. and when presented the golden key to the city. The only other Indian who was at this honor before Ganesan was Jawaharlal Nehru. When Sivaji returned from America, there was a huge crowd to receive him at the Madras airport. And Mr. G. Ramachandran, MGR, was there too. When Sivaji returned from Egypt after winning the Best Actor award, there was a huge crowd to receive him at the Madras airport. In March 1976, he came to Mauritius on an invitation from the then Prime Minister, Dr. Sivasagar Ramgoolam, where he participated in our celebrations here and he stayed as a guest of the governor. During his visit to the United States in June 95, he visited Columbus, Ohio. Participating in the dinner hosted to honor Ganesan, the mayor of the city, Greg Lasuka, honored him by announcing him as a honorary citizen of Columbus. On the same occasion, the mayor of Mount Vernon read out and gave him a special welcome citation. The Columbus Tamil Sangam was formulated on that day, and Ganesan was made the honorary president of that association. I mentioned earlier that I will also talk about the universal acclaim. Sivaji Ganesan is considered one of the best Indian actors of all time. He was also acknowledged as a consummate actor and one of the most imitated ones. He was praised for his body language and his resounding voice and dialogue delivery. Ganesan is known for his versatility and has acted, and this is in particular very relevant and touches me deeply, where he has acted as a blind man in Palum Parum, which was a very popular movie in Mauritius, and which I viewed when I was a child, and also a physically handicapped person in Baga, Pirivinay, enacting 9 numbers of totally different personas from various social strata and the corresponding body language, gait, voice, facial expression in Navaratri, thereby becoming probably the first time in Indian cinema history as an actor representing 9 roles in a single film and in extension inspiring subsequent films, at least in Tamil, like Navarathinam, the great MGR starred, Davasadan, featuring Sivaji's torch-bearer Kamal Haasan. As regards the films on disability where he acted as blind and later as physically handicapped person, I must say I'm personally particularly interested in that with my foundation, the Global Rainbow Foundation, which is dedicated to serving persons with disability. I made it a point to review the Palum Paramum again before attending this conference today, and that was a very touching movie, which we will certainly further promote in sensitizing people on the abilities of people with disability. Let me therefore also give you some comments made by eminent personalities on Sivaji. Sivaji is an ocean of acting and theatrical skills. No one can ever match his excellence and larger-than-life screen presence. He was among the few Indian actors who got a global recognition, said actor and writer Vela Ramamurthy, a die-hard fan of the actor. Second comment, despite being such an exemplary actor and having achieved such great heights in the field, Sivaji Ganesan was an epitome of humility and simplicity. He never had any airs and would move around in a convivial manner with everyone on and off movie sets, said Mr. P. Tangappan, General Secretary of Indo-Russia Chamber of Commerce. And when he came to Mauritius, we can still have the vivid memories of how humble he was, how simple he was, yet how inspiring and warm he was with the Mauritian population, who loves him tremendously. Mr. Ramkumar Ganesan, the eldest son of actor Sivaji Ganesan, said that he's first a fan to the actor. He said, "It is my responsibility to spread his fame across the world. I'm overwhelmed seeing the phantom he continued to enjoy even after so many years," he said, and urged Sivaji's fans to plant trees in his memory and work towards the betterment of the environment. On his 87th birth anniversary, his actor son Prabhu shared some interesting anecdotes. I think it's good for us to know that. Sivaji Ganesan was always on time to report to the film sets. I do not recall even one instant of his being late. After he entered the set, he would never leave till lunchtime. At home, he was a complete family man and did not discuss work. It was only when he had to don interesting makeup in films like Tiruvilayadal and Gauravam, for instance, that he mentioned it to us. Well, and he continues, today as actors, we are given the dialogues well before shoot. During my dad's time, he used the time at the makeup room when the makeup artist was getting him ready to hear the dialogues that were scheduled to be shot that day. When it was turn for other actors to perform, he would always watch them closely. He'd always tell me, I quote, in a single moment, an actor can overtake your performance. So always observe what they are doing. See how shrewd he was. In fact, I would say that Sivaji Ganesan transcended all barriers to be loaded and uploaded across the country. When he received the Dada Saheb Phalke Award in 1977, the highest award presented by the government of India for contribution to cinema, it was a universal acclaim. He was the first Tamilian to receive the award after it was instituted in 1970. I would like to conclude now by saying that his eminence in Tamil cinema at the height of his career in the late 70s and 80s was such that poet Kannadasan said there was no Tamilian who had not been influenced by his screen persona. Kamal Haasan added that the Tamil film industry could be divided into two periods, before and after Sivaji Ganesan. This despite the perceived rivalry with MGR, but where MGR went on to carve a remarkable place for himself in the political arena, Sivaji's phenomenal success remained in the cinema. He sets in standard of professionalism in the cinema as a sticker for punctuality and coming prepared for his scenes. His memory was phenomenal and he rarely missed his lines. In the annals of Indian cinema, Sivaji will always be a landmark. I think we will invite all my Mauritian friends who are here that we should make it a point to celebrate Sivaji Ganesan every year. That we will do it, but we need also probably to do some film festival. We can organize it, International Tirupura and other organizations. We can do it, have some film festival during that period so that people can remember him again. And also, well, we'll look to the collaboration with India for that. Well, Sivaji Ganesan was more than a film star. He was an icon. His life showed the changing face of India, from colonial times to independence and after, from poverty-stricken origin to dizzying heights of fame. All throughout, he remained a committed human being and a great star worshipped this side idolatry. Perhaps it was his humble beginnings that made him identify with the common man who in turn looked upon him as a role model. I would like to conclude by saying that one very interesting with his songs, Prabhu and Ram Kumar have done, has been to enshrine his memory through a number of charitable activities benefiting the poorest of the poor in the whole country. This is a laudable initiative, and which should help to keep the memory for many, many years to come. So with these words, I must say we are very honored from Mauritius to have had this opportunity, thanks to Mr. Dr. Arumugam for organizing this celebration in Mauritius. I'm sure it will revive a lot of good memories, but also continue to inspire and give our Mauritian people, the love for this great actor, and also follow his many examples of leadership, of professionalism, and also of service to humanity. I wish to thank all of you for your kind attention. I must express my sincere apology, Dr. Marudu Mohan. I have told you that after this conference at 3:30 in 5 minutes, I am chairing the International Tirukural Foundation Tirukural conferences, which we have every month. And this, in 5 minutes, I will be chairing the 14th International Conference, which will be, the main speaker there is Mr. Chris Punusami, an eminent personality in the community in Moritius. So I will stay for a few more minutes, but you'll excuse me. I am with you, and I will be giving all my collaboration to whatever initiative you take. You know, when you launch your books on Sivaji Ganesan in Mauritius, and whatever you do, we all of us will associate with you in the memory of great Sivaji Ganesan. Mikka Nandri.
மிக்க நன்றி.